Good morning and welcome to Abona, the 103.5 FM. Today, the 6th day of February 2024. Today is Tuesday and the time is 2 minutes past the hour of 7. It's time for newspaper headlines on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. This morning, we are going to take you through the news making the headlines on Nigerian newspapers. But before we do that, let's go for a short break. When we come back, we'll continue on the stories making the headlines. Please stay with us.
Do you know that you have the right to quality broadcasting? The National Broadcasting Commission says any person, group of persons, or organization aggrieved by the content of a broadcast or the conduct of a broadcast station may lodge a complaint to the station and all right to the Director General, National Broadcasting Commission, number 20, Ibrahim Taiwo Street, Asokoro, Abuja, or send a mail via info@nbc.gov.ng. Please ensure that the complaint includes name of the broadcast station, title of the program, date and time of broadcast, and essence of the complaint. Also, remember to include your name, address, telephone number, email, and append your signature. Note that the complaint must reach the NBC within 14 days of the queried broadcast. NBC, your right to quality broadcasting.
You're welcome back to newspaper headlines on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. This morning, we are going to take you through the news, making the headlines on the Guardian newspaper, Leadership, Vanguard, Punch, Daily Post, The Sun, The Nation, This Day, and if time permits, we're also going to take a look at Nigerian Tribune newspapers. Remember that you can become part of this conversation by sending your reactions via SMS or WhatsApp messages on 080 96661035. You can as well join us on Facebook as we are live at Ebona, the 103.5 FM. Drop your comments on the comment section of the live video. You can equally stream us online via mixlr.com/gistfm. I am Martin. Let's get started with the Guardian newspaper this morning. Building materials level spike construction costs by 200%. Wheat import to Africa hits $20 billion over Ukraine-Russia war. Poor citizens protest high cost of living, hardship in Mina, Oshun. Government must dismantle criminality to build skills, Obi says. Hoodlums disrupt Fubara's Supreme Court victory celebration. Senate wants customs to increase 5 trillion naira revenue target for 2024. Kiamo threatens to sack airport managers over blackout. NAFDAC says over 50% of imported pharmaceutical certificates are fake. Olawepo Hashim urges federal government to implement APC policies on state policing. Human Rights Writers Association demands audit over frequent collapse. Boko Haram kills 2 at Yobe Collation Center. Nigerian Air Force to boost fighting power with new attack helicopters. Okowa doesn't interfere in governance of Delta, says Oborowere. Nigeria launches anti-children trafficking projects. CAPPA urges federal government states to address tobacco use. Others institutions sign a memorandum of understanding to drive standardized African research integrative caution. Fish out illegal miners, bandits, land grabbers, or your government tax council bosses, monarchs. While work is yet to begin on Lagos-Ota Abeokuta Expressway by Ogun State government. Edo 2024, PDP condemns abduction of officials in Esako Central. GDF promotes quality education, peace, On International Day of Education, federal government introduces Childhood Cancer Counterpart Fund that retools 6 teaching hospitals. Enugu Chamber of Commerce lords Mba over security infrastructure. Reps allays fears of rejection of key constitutional amendment bills. Women farmers to get 5.5 million naira each from Remi Tinubu. National Assembly Benue APC plus SGF Akume over rerun victory in boss. FRN versus Ali Bello and Ano. Court continues trial today. NAFDAC enforces ban on sachet alcoholic drinks. Court dismisses bail request by 5 Rivers men charged with terrorism. Chetima tax Nigerians leaders on patriotism. Tinubu, Abiodun Mon Jimmy Solanke say late poet a worthy ambassador. Lagos residents consider cheese, others as alternative to eggs. Nigerian content creators gain as YouTube music hits 100 million subscribers. Governor urges Dangote, Rabiu, others to ease economic hardship in Kano. Nnamani, rather, Mon Ibrahim says ex-Yobe governor was exceptional leader. Rerun, ADP, Labour Party win Plateau Senate reps seat. OLCA, MLU sign memorandum of understanding to drive standardized African research integrative coaching. Defense ministers vow to fight terrorism scourge in West, North Africa. World Cancer Day, 8 radiotherapy machines in Nigeria not safe. NMRA. Defense ministers vow to fight terrorism scourge. We've taken this. Still on the stories making the headlines on the Guardian newspaper this morning. Nigeria bans sachet alcohol, cites risk to children's health behavior. Institutions sign memorandum of understanding to drive standardized African research integrative coaching. We've taken this. Edo 2024, PDP condemns abduction of officials in Esako Central. Federal government introduces Childhood Cancer Counterpart Fund, reduces 6 teaching hospitals. And that's the much we can take from the Guardian newspaper this morning. Still on the stories making the headlines on Nigeria, will flip over to leadership newspaper. Institute lost Burna Boy over performance at Grammy Awards. Blinken begins a 5th Middle East trip after strikes against Houthi. China. EFCC arrests pastor over alleged 1.3 billion naira fake grants. Make passport process seamless. Nigerians cry out over ridiculous food prices. The scourge of the ATM, a reluctant machine. Opposition parties instigating mass protests to undermine our government, APC. Civil society organizations to EFCC name those laundering money for terrorists. Food cheapest in West Africa, food cheapest in Nigeria despite complaints. Governors, 15.9 million students spend 159 billion naira on mobile data monthly. Edo 2024, APC aspirant kicks against candidate imposition. Talks disrupt Fubara's Supreme Court victory rally. YPP wins 4 reps, assembly seats in Akwa Ibom, Anambra. Congress, Edo PDP declares 9 electoral officers kidnapped. Hard times, don't fall prey to fraudsters, cleric warns Nigerians. Anti-Abure protest, mass Labour Party meeting in Benin. Governor Sule hails Abiodun's infrastructure drive in Ogun. MBTE approves 8 courses for federal poly. Ayade. Tinubu needs support, not criticisms, to curb insecurity. APC chieftain. By election. Lagos, Oyo, Petitions to be heard by tribunal in Lagos. Buka Ibrahim buried in Mecca. Tackle insecurity with state. Cancel policing. Olawepo Hashim urges Tinubu. Ijo use fault Northern senators' opposition to Tinubu's nominee. Oyo reopens 23 schools 10 years after closure. Police arrest 4 suspects, recover firearms in Imo. 2024 Grammy nominations. Tinubu hails Burna Boy, Davido, Olamide, Asake, Ira, Star. Oshime suffers ill health, may miss Super Eagles clash with Bafana. AFCON 2023. Step up your game, Picero tells Oshime. Others. Federal government moves inclusion of cancer treatment in NHIS. African Development Bank set to disburse $540 million for development of special agro-industrial zones in Nigeria. MMIA blackouts. Kiamo threatens to sack airport management. FRN versus Ali Bello. Others. Court adjourns to February 6th for continuation of trial. APC group appoints Osamaye as Director of Women Mobilization. Detractors paid to truncate Rivers governance, ex-chief whip. Tackle insecurity with state. Cancel policing. We've taken this. I defeated Soludo Apga despite their power of incubacy. Oba. Edo 2024, I will declare emergency in all sectors. Aspirant. Congress. Edo PDP declare 9 electoral officers kidnapped. New Jersey to host 2026 FIFA World Cup final. AFCON, don't underrate South Africa. Amun wants Super Eagles. And that's the much we can take from the leadership newspaper this morning. From the leadership newspaper, we'll flip over to the Punch newspaper. Kidnappings, demand for bulletproof vehicles rises. Kidnappings, demand for bulletproof vehicles rises. Dealers lament forest crisis. Kano construction workers down tools over wage award. Tinubu Abiodun mourn as Jimmy Solanke dies at 81. Stay away from Edo Labour Party primary. Protesters tell Abure. AFCON, Nigerians in South Africa warned against wide jubilation. Lawmaker pays for 1,000 constituents UTME enrollment. General Overseer accused of 1.3 billion naira fraud denies EFCC arrest. General Overseer accused of 1.3 billion naira fraud denies EFCC arrest. Naira in transition, not jinx. Rewan. Senate to raise customs 5 trillion naira revenue target. Gridlock as fuel queues resurfaces in Lagos. Distillers protest today over NAFDAC sachet alcohol ban. Cancer, Biden, Sunak, world leaders sympathize with King Charles. Navy naps 9 stowaways on Spain-bound vessel. CIBN advocates alternative securities, investor education to deepen capital market. Reps considering 40 bills on constitution amendment. Deputy spokesman. Ilasa Grammar School begins 90th anniversary celebrations. Final approval needed for Lagos Abeokuta Expressway project. Government. Rivers Labour Party, APC defectors pledge support for Fubara. Okowa, not interfering in my government, says Oborowore. Court denies Fubara loyalist bail. Begins terrorism trial Thursday. KB local government chairman, complete tenure. PDP share tells Shaibu. Others. Appeal court raises tribunal for by-election petitions. LAGESC government tells local government chairman groups seek resolution of ECOWAS crisis. Grammys, you are all winners. Tinubu tells Davido. Others. Oyo, 7 others to receive $540 million African Development Bank funds for SAPZs. Senate to increase customs revenue target. Reps to engage CBN governor ministers on economy Tuesday. And that's the much we can take from the Punch newspaper this morning. From the Punch newspaper, we'll flip over to the Daily Post newspaper. Ekiti kidnapping. We got our children released with servants. Reject 10,000 naira wage award in Jigawa. Fish out illegal miners, bandits in your domains, or your government to local government chairman, traditional rulers. Senate will review customs revenue targets. Senator Isha. RCCG commiserates with Oyebanji Ekiti over killing of traditional rulers. Osun government debunks rumors of relocation of college to satellite. RCCG commiserates with Oyebanji Ekiti over killing of traditional rulers. Osun government debunks rumors of relocation of college to satellite campus. Yoruba land under siege. Prove your mettle. Southwest youth tells Gani Adams. Kebi. Land under siege. Prove your mettle. Southwest youth tells Gani Adams. Kebi. Governor dissolves 21 local government chairmen, secretaries. King Charles diagnosed with cancer. King Charles diagnosed with cancer. Imo government begins a massive cleanup of drainages ahead of rainy season. Niger. Protests caused by activities of food speculators. Governor Bago. Economic hardships. Seek help before it's too late. Labour Party tells Tinubu. That's the much we can take from the Daily Post newspaper this morning. Still on the stories making the headlines on Nigerian newspapers this morning from the Daily Post newspaper, we'll flip over to the Vanguard newspaper. Poverty is major determinant of mental health issues in Nigeria. Professor Taiwo. Cross River community bemoans abandonment. Cross River community bemoans abandonment. Clash of tradition, civilization. How enraged traditionalists raised palace. Commissioners. Villagers flee homes, hide in bushes. Armed headers terrorize Bayelsa Delta farmers, fishermen. Customs clarifies Jibia incident, condoles with bereaved family. Customs clarifies Jiba incident and condoles with bereaved family. African Development Bank set to begin this. Nigerians are heartbroken, hopeless. Free my wife, Shude. Edo 2024, PDP holds delegates Congress despite protest. Still on the stories making the headlines on the Vanguard newspaper this morning, Oshime doubtful for South Africa clash, misses Super Eagles trip to Bouake. AFCON, Super Eagles favorites to condemn boys to third place match. Egypt sacked head coach after disappointing AFCON performance. Cooking gas explosion, 4-year-old girl, 3 others in Lagos hospital. Common Nigerians suffering hard times, leaders secured. Adeboye. Common Nigerians suffering. Grammy, you are everlasting winners. Sanwo-Olu to Davido, Burna Boy, others. 15 things to know about late Jimmy. So and clamps down on banks, pegs trade, assets in forest. And that's the much we can take from the Vanguard newspaper this morning. From the Vanguard newspaper, we'll flip over to the Nation newspaper. Protest rocks Mina. Federal approval delaying Lagos Ota Abeokuta Expressway reconstruction, says Ogun government. Attack on Rivers Assembly. Court refuses bail for 3 suspects. ADP, Labour Party wins Senate. Reps run polls in Plateau. Federal government bans alcoholic beverages in small sachets. Insecurity, NCC, security operatives working to tackle challenges. ECOWAS, civil society organizations call for dialogue to prevent disintegration. FEM launches new products. Lawmaker marks birthday with constituents. Don't revoke policies of ex-ministers. Still on the stories making the headlines on the Nation newspaper this morning. Nigerian breweries did well in 2023. Revisit my petition. Disposed monarch begs Makinde. Eagles victory shows our resolve to nation. New Seraph unveil prophetic industrialist. Experts partner on economy. Nigeria's food cheapest in West Africa, says governors. APC organizes lunch to mark Sokoto's victory. CEO Ago greets Enugu Governor Mba on award. Plateau crisis. Defense headquarters threatens legal action against Human Rights Writers Association. Bus crushes motorcyclist, passenger in Delta. That's the much we can take from the Nation newspaper this morning. From the Nation newspaper, we'll flip over to N3bn. Wike to contractors. Work according to timelines or risk revocation. Non-governmental organization urges Bronu governor to scale up palliatives for internally displaced persons, women. African Development Bank set to disburse $540 million SAPZ's fund. Police arrest 6 suspected kidnappers in Abuja. NEMA upgrades North Central Zonal Office for quick responses to disasters, emergencies. ASU embarks on nationwide consultation with members over non-implementation of agreements by federal government. Poverty, unemployment, cost of banditry, kidnapping in Northwest, Kaduna Governor. Solanke, Africa lost its greatest naturalist, actor, Tola Adeniyi. Osun APC is coming back to power 2026. Oyetola, Kanu governor begs business community to release hoarded food stuff. Niger governor links hunger protests in Minna to food speculators. Ilesa Grammar School alumni condemns education decline, urges government action. Expose anyone committing financial crimes, Muslim media group tells EFCC. ARMTI launches training workshops to empower youth, women, young farmers. Prophet Olobonyo condemns killing of Ikiti monarchs. And that's the much we can take from the Nigerian Tribune this morning. You are listening to newspaper headlines on Ebon and the 103.5 FM. We'll now go for a short break. When we come back, we'll continue on the stories making headlines. Please stay with us.
Country people, another ogbonge opportunity don land for you to secure your own landed property for better location with small money before price go carry you go where you no know. This one na legit info from the stables of Robin Fave Concept Limited. I know say you don sabi that name by now. Robin Fave Concept Limited na big name for this real estate business. We get the track record and we dey deliver for everything we talk. Now we bring you Blessed Garden Estate, phase 1 and phase 2. Now we still bring you Elite Garden Estate and Unique Garden Estate. All these estates of Delta State and people wey sabi levels don buy them finish. But no worry because land no dey finish. And our work na to direct you go where you go get the best value for your money. This time, we don carry am come your domot with the brand new Golden City Garden Estate inside our special promo wey dey on now. From now till 2 weeks time. This estate dey for Otulu off Asaba Benin Expressway, just 2 minutes from Asaba Housing Express Road. For inside Golden City Garden Estate, you go enjoy light and water 247. The environment clean and the day serene for you and your family with good road network and street light go dey shine for every corner. You no go worry about security because solid fence dey around the estate and security men when dem train wella go man the gate 247. On top that one, recreational center dey for your maximum relaxation. Wetin you dey wait for? Waka come Robin Fave Concept Limited office make you collect your own plot inside the brand new Golden City Garden Estate. Because special promo dey on now. And for this naira, this promo na for only 2 weeks. So no dull yourself. With only 350k, you don become landlord in 2403. I say 081. 68 32 2403. Once you pay, we go allocate your land, give you sharply, plus give you deed of assignment. One then na 3 months, 6 months, or even 12 months. As long as you no go turn your eye, better payment plan dey for you to choose. Take advantage of this special promo when they on now unto say one plot of land 464 square meters now only 350,000 naira. Because buy your own land today, make yourself become landlord inside the new Golden City Garden Estate, Otulu, when be only 2 minutes from Akuku Igbo Local Government Secretariat. Come our office when they inside Jimok Petrol Station, Kilometer 8, Asaba Benin Expressway, Asaba, Delta State. Or call us on top 081 68 32 2403. That is 081 68 32 2403. I say 08 68 32 2403. Now, Robin Fave Concept Limited, they develop Golden City Garden Estate.
How best can we talk about the challenges we are having on our streets, our community, our society in general? Street report. If we do not address these challenges on airborne and as they can be,
Our government, then whatever.
Street report is here to make sense of it all. Street report is causing social change across your streets,
Ada pati hindi BAB na
in your community.
hal bakala ya son na
Street report is here with hardcore journalism to get to the roots of our problem. Why don't you join me, Martin Ifan as our number the first every Friday, 4:30 p.m. on Martin Airborne at the corner
24/7, 24/7.
You're welcome back to Newspaper Headlines on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. Remember that you can become part of the conversation by sending your reactions via SMS or WhatsApp messages on 080-9666-1035. You can as well join us on Facebook as we're live at Ebona, the 103.5 FM. Drop your comments on the comment section of the live video. You can equally stream us online via mixlr.com/gistfm. We are on to this day newspaper. African Development Bank ready to the $540 million SAPZ's fund to states. Buckingham Palace says Britain's King Charles diagnosed with cancer. Federal government expresses concern over rising cost of living. Protest ministers visit Nigeria in effort to strengthen bilateral ties. Nigeria renews suspension of Nigeria in effort to strengthen Tinubu more. Surveyor General calls for more funding for mapping cloud storage with $36 billion profit. REANEP accelerates off-grid power generation in Jigawa, Nasarawa. Again, Vandals cause collapse of transmission tower along Nasarawa. Again, Vandals cause collapse of transmission tower along the Just Bauchi axis. FAO highlights steps to unleash Africa's potential for food production. Gombe woes investors plan bond issuance to finance critical projects. Prices of cereals, meat dipped global food prices by 10% in January. As Ayedatiwa 18 others jostle for Ondo 2024 Guba seat, Obaseki's support for Igadalu faces threat. When Atiku Makinde returned to trenches, stalemate in Plateau Assembly over Supreme Court verdict. Deadly enemies. Urgent need for presidential advisory councils. Retracing the milestone of El Anastu. 4 scores. Why viewers connect to so well with blood vessel. From play to portfolio, a voice actor's personal journey to recognition. Okon. Nigeria needs increased investment funding in health sector to curb Japa syndrome. That's the much we can take from this day newspaper this morning. That will also mark the conclusion of all that we have for you on this. That will also mark the conclusion of all that we have for you on this particular edition of Newspaper Headlines on Airborne at the 103. From our WhatsApp portal, we have this message coming from famous Christian and is joining us from Ifite village, Aguluzibo. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We have a message. It's coming from Agonabo. He's joining us from Ofa Aguluzibo. And he says, house to say they will not disappoint us on constitutional review Mofa Aguluzibo. And he says, house to say they will not disappoint us on constitutional insecurities and lack of jobs, opportunities, and tribalism. And he says, and bring a sure conclusion. We are watching. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have this message. It is coming up of Gary rises to a 1,000 naira. And he says, this comment shows that most of our leaders love it when Nigerians are suffering. A bag of rice is for 1,000 naira. And he says, this comment shows that most of our leaders love it when Nigerians are suffering. A bag of rice is 45,000 naira. How can someone who is earning 20,000 or 30,000 afford it? Yes, Nigerians are heartbroken, said Reverend Father Mbaka. Is true. No doubt about it. And he says, but God will reward everyone according to his works. Valentine of Nigeria, people are really suffering, hungry, and everywhere. And he says, people dying, kidnappers everywhere, bandits in each corner of the nation. Nowhere is safe again. All the money that they said that they are demanding. And he says, Nigeria is heartbroken. Mbaka tells Tinubu that is a total truth. And he says, again, stopping of alcohol in sachets is a welcome development before it's too late. For health is better than wealth. And he says, again, Oshime should please try to save us from South Africa hands. Oshime. Okay, thank you so much. For health is better than wealth. And he says, again, Oshime should please try to save us from South Africa hands. Oshime. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Protest against high cost of living. Yes, there is no two ways about it. Our leaders refuse to give us what we need from them, and they also refuse to rule revolution action against bad governance in the country. And he says the people that are and he says, yes, super ego in South Africa. I can see that kidnapping Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended. You will discover that the governor of the state is the chief security officer of that state. What it means is that the governor of a particular state is supposed to be in charge of the security apparatus of the state, but in Nigeria, the reverse is the case. For example, if there is the state, but in Nigeria, the reverse is the case. For example, if there is a security threat going from directive from the Assistant Inspector General of Police, and damage must have been done. But if the governor of a state is allowed to give directives, comrade Ibudu from Abagana, and he says in Nigeria, protesters will be killed as a protest. Nigeria is in a mess. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have this message. It is coming from John Ume from Okozu, and he says it is only in Nigeria and in the party called a message. It is coming from John Ume from Okozu, and he says it is only in Nigeria and in the party called APC and its government that somebody in his right senses would be telling the world that Nigerian slaves it has infected the masses with. Bayo Onanuga and his paymasters will not be blamed because it is their time to rule. It is their time to jam when ordinary killed on daily basis because of insecurity that only God knows when it will stop. If what they are saying is true, so be it. But if it is not true, let the Almighty God judge them. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We have this message. It's coming from Kenneth N3bn from Momo Ezomunachi, and it says Nigeria ban. I urge NAFTA and other enforcement agencies. Kenneth N3bn from Momo Ezomunachi. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have this message. It's coming from Ebuka Joshua Dawson, and he's joining us from 33, and he says, I strongly family protest in Niger over hardship and insecurity is heartbroken, and he says banning of sachet drinks is a welcome development. Okay, thank you so much for joining us. Now we have this message. It's coming from Amechi, and thank you so much. Now we have this one. It's coming from Obiora from Okozu, and he says Tinubu need support, not criticism. Says APC chieftain, so-called APC wicked persons, and he says God has ever created on. From our SMS portal this morning, we have this message, and it's coming from Onye Kachi from Iyowa, and he says, I believe that this warning to Nigerians in South Africa is coming from the people that named the area South Afraid. And he says, indigenous Africans are too mature to dirty themselves just for a game with few dollars. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Still on our SMS portal, we have this message that says the way the cost of goods and production is increasing in Nigeria on daily basis is highly skyrocketing. And it says, by causing economic hardship, thereby causing economic hardship. And he said it's coming from Wingate Ikechukwu Nwakeze from Okozo. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We have a message coming from Honorable Onyedika Osakwe, and he says everybody is condemning the killings in the nation. After that, what is their action? All should come out and express their feelings by urging the federal government in power to have a rethink or pay come from bad to worse. Onyeka, he continued and says it is high time the rulers should stop deceiving our citizens. How can they stop sachet hot? Still the only anomalies they have detected in this Natsino jokes. Okay, your message is not complete. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We'll now flip over to our Facebook portal. We have a message. It is coming from also Francis Nnamani, and it says the incessant reports of killings, banditry, kidnapping, and other forms of insecurity in this country is unarguably worrisome, alarming, and nothing to write home about. The appropriate authority should rise up to this challenge. We also have a message coming from Dr. Mrs. Mma Olebara from Owerri, and she says, we have never had it this bad. Nigerians earnestly prayed God to rescue us from bad rulers and bad governance. It is now that we realize that those were better days compared to what we see now, and our eyes bleed. They are to wipe dry their tears. How did we get here? May we never pass through this way again. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Also, Francis Nnamani too. Thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Mrs. Mma Olebara. This is the spot where we'll call it a day on this particular edition of Newspaper Headlines on Ebona Day 103.5 FM. Remember, it comes your way weekdays in the morning. Once it's 7 o'clock, so keep a date. And don't touch the dial of Ebona Day 103.5 FM. Once it's 8:20, we'll be back with Birthday Splash. Till we meet again, I am Martin. Have a beautiful morning.
Classic lady. Never on the 103.5. How best can we talk about the challenges we are having on our streets, our community, our society? How best can we talk about the challenges we are having on our streets, our community, our society in general? Street report. If we do not address these challenges on airborne and streets, your community,
24/7, 24/7. 24/7, 24/7.
Obodense bụ ebe anyị na-anọ atụgharị uche n'ife gbasara okirikiri ebe anyị bi, omenala ọdịbendị nchepụ akpa. Sonye Somti n'oge Obodense na 103.5 FM ngwa ngwa ọkụ elekere 3 nke efifie 3 o'clock kwa ụbọchị Tọzdee ife na-eme. Akụkọ ifo, ilu Igbo nakwa abụ bụ ihe eji mara ndị Igbo.
Okay, thank you. Like, subscribe, and share. Right.